Today on the Mid-Year YouTube channel, I'm going to show you how to install a removable transmission crossmember kit on a C2 or C3 Corvette. So be sure to stick around.
So we're at the movies, huh?
Yep, we're at the movies. So I decided to remove my section of the bird cage off of this frame just to get full access, and it'll make it easier to film. So the plan is to cut the cross member, and I've seen people cut it in different locations. I've seen some more outboard, and I've also seen more inboard. I think I would rather do it inboard. It'll be less weight to take off whenever you're taking the cross member off, and I think it'll also be stronger in terms of welding. There'll be a lot more beef closer to these pipes. So I have these big hose clamps here. I'm going to crank them down. Once I get my exact position, I'll probably try to be about an inch or so away from this hole so we don't break through whenever we're welding. Crank these clamps down to give me a guide, and I'll just grab my lines, get the Sawzall out. We'll cut this section of the cross member out. So I cut the cross member out, and I slid these brackets in here and put the bolts in here just to mock it up, and it looks pretty much the same as it did like half an hour ago, except this time these plates are in here. So you just have to do a little bit of massaging on these plates to get around the welds, and you know, the plate may be a little smaller, the frame may be a little wider, so massage that a little bit. So now I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to clean up the insides of both this cross member and the frame, make sure there's no burrs. I'm gonna actually throw these pieces of steel, the brackets, on the grill, and I'm gonna warm them up just a little bit, you know, just to help my welder penetrate. I'm gonna weld on both sides of it and then smooth the insides so we have a nice tight fit, and then we're gonna tack it, make sure that everything still fits good, that we can remove the cross member okay, and then we'll start fully welding this in. First, just tried to set everything up metal to metal and crank the bolts down so these plates are touching, and that was going to make it really hard to remove. So I cut a couple tacks and actually put a couple little really thin shims on all four corners on both of these, and that allowed just a little bit of float, just a wee little bit, and that's enough to let this, it doesn't just completely fall out if you take the bolts out, but it's pretty easy to get in and out. And then I went in with a grinder, cleaned up the plates a little bit after I welded it to make sure that it slides in and out freely. So now I just have a couple more areas to weld around these bolts, and I have a little bit of grinding to do so I can actually get the bolts in here and get the nuts in here and then crank everything down. But overall, it turned out really nice, and I believe this is the American Powertrain kit. It was sold by Eckler's, but I think American Powertrain makes it, and I really like this kit. We'll see how the floor fitment is. I think I'm going to grind some of this down here because there's a little extra meat here than what really needs to be here. So I'm going to grind that down to make sure we have clearance to the floor, because this is also an early 63 with the deeper floor wells, and I want to make sure he doesn't have to shim the body super high to clear this. But the kit's nice. I like that these are designed to sleeve over the cross member. That just gives you a little extra overlap, and it just turned out really nice. I just had a little bit of grinding to do on the cross member and on the brackets to get everything to fit, and I numbered them all 1 through 4 after I got them to fit to make sure I put them back in the same place. But everything turned out really nice. This is a good kit. The cross member is exactly where it was before. So time-wise, this probably takes about an afternoon. It didn't take that long to cut out or to clean up the metal around or to get everything set up. The part that took the longest was welding it in, because I didn't want to accidentally get the cross member stuck. So I had to keep taking it out, grinding on it a little bit, shimming it up. I just took my time to make sure it turned out right. But it doesn't take very long. I don't recommend doing this with the body on. 1, because you could catch the body on fire, but 2, there's definitely not a lot of clearance, and you're not going to be able to get your welder on top to get good welds. You can take the cross member out and weld that, but you're not going to be able to weld up here. So I definitely recommend having the body off. I've seen people try to do it with the body on. That just seems like a wasted effort. So this was nice and easy. Now I just got to prep it, get it ready for powder coating. But overall, great kit. I highly recommend it. It wasn't that hard to install as long as you have a welder and a sawzall and a grinder. That's pretty much all you need. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I have a lot of videos coming out on this frame, and I have a couple bird cages I'm building, so be sure to check those out as well. I'll catch you guys later.